Hey, what's going on? Dr. Gonzo Boogie here again, back for another video, and what a better time to show you guys my entire Halloween collection than on the week of Halloween, and I'm extremely excited this week for Halloween. It's my favorite holiday, favorite time of the year, so I'm really glad that this is the week that I've been waiting all year for. I've been going through all the Halloween movies. Right now I'm working my way through Halloween 5. So I might even try to finish that one up when I'm done doing this video here. And I've just been having a lot of fun going through the Halloween movies. Just great movies, really, really great horror movie series. And I'm sure all you guys are watching those too. Definitely let me know in the comments if you guys are watching the Halloween movies this week. Let me know which one you guys are watching right now. But other than that, just want to get going and show you guys what I have for my Halloween collection. And like I have been doing in these videos, I'm going to start out with the Blu-rays. Then I'll show you guys what I have on DVD for the Halloween movies. And then last, I'll show you guys the VHS tapes that I have. So first off, I'm just going to start off with the Blu-rays, of course. And here is a Anchor Bay Blu-ray box set that features Halloween. And it also comes with Children of the Corn and Hellraiser, but of course I'm showing this because it comes with Halloween, and I really like these Anchor Bay Blu-ray releases. I'm trying to collect them all right now for the horror movies, the horror classics. They didn't put too many out, so the ones they did get, I'm trying to get because a lot of them are going out of print already. Just in case you guys haven't seen it real good, this is what the separate Anchor Bay Halloween Blu-ray looks like. I really like this. It's just kind of a simple release, has a few bonus features on it, and then it just, of course, comes with the classic in high definition. So really glad to have this one, even though I do have the box set, which I'm about to show right now. So I have the 10-disc box set put out by Anchor Bay and Scream Factory, an awesome release here. I mean, Anchor Bay is my favorite horror movie DVD company to collect from, and Scream Factory is my favorite Blu-ray horror movie collection. So this is like a, two of my favorite things coming together to make this set. And of course, this is only the 10-disc one. There's a way better 15-disc one. I picked this one up just to save myself about $50, but in the long run, I do wish that I had the 15-disc one. It's definitely a superior set, and one day I do hope to have it in my collection, but I was happy to get this one anyways. I actually got this one as a gift from my mom, so I didn't really have to pay anything for it, so that's always awesome. But, yeah, I mean, of course, this comes with all of the Halloween movies, including the two Rob Zombie ones, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I actually don't even have those ones on DVD. Actually, I appreciate a lot of Rob Zombie's work. I like his House of a Thousand Corpses movie and Devil's Rejects, and I also like his band White Zombie, and his first couple solo albums are good, but I just really do not like his two Halloween movies. When they first came out, when his first one first came out, I was a lot younger, and I remember being excited for it and liking it at the time because I was really big into Devil's Rejects when that came out. But looking back on it now, I watched that one a few months ago, and I watched his Halloween 2, and they just aren't that good of movies. I know there's probably some people out there that really do like them, but I just really dislike Rob Zombie's two Halloween movies. But all the other ones I do think are pretty good, even though some of the other sequels in this series aren't the best either, but the Rob Zombie ones I do think are the worst. And just in case you guys haven't seen what the inside of this set looks like, it comes with two separate DVD cases. The first one comes with the first 5 Halloween movies, which is really cool, and the second set comes with Halloween 6, H2O, Resurrection, and the 2 Rob Zombie ones. Just a really nice set, and I think it's a good way to get all the Halloween movies on Blu-ray for not that bad of a price anyways. So overall, really decent set here, the 10-disc Halloween one. And then last up here for the Blu-rays is Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, the unrated producer's cut. And I picked this one up because sadly my 10-disc set does not include the producer's cut of Halloween 6, and that was one of the highlights for the bigger 15-disc box set. So I was a little bummed about that when I ended up getting that set. But when I heard that this one was getting a separate release, I got really excited about that. And when I saw this at Walmart for like $7-8, I thought that was even cooler. So really glad to pick this one up. And I still have not watched this yet. I've actually, years ago in high school, I watched a bootleg of Halloween 6, the producer's cut, but I can't remember it too well, and the bootleg was really shitty, so I have not seen a really good, version of this movie ever before, so I'm really looking forward to this. And like I said at the beginning of my video, I'm working my way through Halloween 5 right now, so next up on my list is going to be the producer's cut of Halloween 6, so really looking forward to checking that out. Alright, and then next up, I'm going to go through all the DVDs I have, and I'll try to do a little bit more reviews when I go through them separate like this. I figured with the Blu-ray box that it would be a little bit harder to do, but I'll, try to give you guys some of my opinions on these movies as I go through them and try to tell you guys which ones are my favorites and stuff like that. So first up here, of course, we got the original John Carpenter classic, which probably has to be my favorite in the series, even though for some reason it's a close tie in my opinion to Halloween 4. Halloween 4 was the first Halloween movie I ever saw, and I have a strong nostalgia towards it for that reason. I remember renting it a lot when I was younger and seeing it on TV, and it actually took me a while to get around to watching John Carpenter's original Halloween, but when I did, I was blown away by how good of a horror movie it is, and this really is just one of the all-time best classic horror movies ever, and for that reason, it's definitely the best in the series, but it's, like I said, it's almost a tie with 4 as being my favorite. Just classic stuff here. This is actually an older Anchor Bay release. I actually think this might be one of the first, if not the first, releases of Halloween on DVD ever, because this was actually from 1997, which was still kind of early in the DVD releases, and it doesn't have any special features really. It comes with the trailer, and side 2 is like a pan and scan presentation thing, which is like a way to like kind of watch the movie if you don't have a widescreen TV. You can kind of like scan, pan around it. That used to be a thing on DVDs early on, but they kind of forgot about that after a while. But classic stuff here. I also have another copy of Halloween. This is comes with like a cool holographic cover. This one is kind of hard to come by, and I've seen it go for a lot on the computer, but then every once in a while I see it pop up for kind of cheap, so I'm not really sure exactly what this release is worth or not, but it's still a really nice release. It comes with a documentary, Halloween Unmasked 2000, which I haven't seen in a while. Probably have to check that one out again one of these days. And then last, for the first Halloween movie, I also have the extended cut of the movie, or the TV cut of the movie, which this is a version of the movie that includes scenes filmed specially for the TV release of Halloween, which were filmed around the time they were making Halloween 2. And this is just a pretty interesting thing to watch if you've seen the original Halloween movie like a dozen times, or more than that, like I'm sure all you guys, including myself, have. It's just cool to see it slightly different. And the scenes added into this one are a little bit weird too, so it's like interesting for that reason also. And also this release of this was the first time that you could get this separate on home video. Before this, Anchor Bay had put out like a 2-pack that came with the TV cut as like the second disc, but this is the first time you can ever get the whole TV cut as its own separate release, which I think is pretty cool. I'm glad I have this, and like most Anchor Bay releases, this is out of print and kind of hard to find right now. Alright, and then next up we got Halloween 2, which is a really good sequel to the first Halloween movie. Excuse me. But last time I watched this, which was just a few days ago, I actually kind of almost felt that this movie was a little bit too slow-paced. The first Halloween movie has that classic John Carpenter pace to it. It's a little bit slow-paced, but it works really well, and it's done really well. Like, John Carpenter just knows how to do that really well. And in this movie, I almost feel like they were trying to copy his style in a way, or definitely copy the mood or the feeling of the first movie, and I didn't think it was quite as effective, even though I do like this movie and I think it's a good sequel. But I almost found the second half of this movie to be a little bit boring when they're in the hospital. Excuse me. And in the hospital scene, like Laurie, there's not too much going on, is what I'm trying to get at. Like Michael Myers is just slowly pacing his way around the hospital, and then Laurie is hurt from the first movie, so she's either lying in bed the whole time or she's like crawling around trying to get places. And the Halloween music, which is like also kind of some of the Halloween music they use is kind of like slow paced too. So I just almost think that the ending of the movie drags a little bit, but not really, really bad. And also, I don't know if you guys ever noticed, but I thought it was kind of strange that there was like no other patients in the hospital later on at night. Like earlier in the movie when the kid comes in with his like tongue cut, there's like other patients in the hospital, but later on at night when it's like Michael chasing Laurie and stuff like that, there's like no other patients at all. Even if they go into other rooms and stuff, they're like empty. And I just kind of thought that was weird. I mean, especially since it was sort of a bigger budget movie from Universal. It's like I feel like they could have paid for some extras in that part. So I just thought that was a little weird. Halloween 2 classic. But like I said, I almost thought this one was a little bit slow paced compared to the others in the series. Alright, and then next up here is Halloween 3, and this is a notorious sequel that does not have Michael Myers in it. And I've talked about this movie a couple times before in some of my other Halloween videos and stuff like that. And I've mentioned before that this movie really grew on me over the years, and it took a while to grow on me. I remember when I was younger, I thought this movie was stupid. I was like, doesn't it have Michael Myers in it? I was like, that's stupid. And I just never really gave it a chance. But as I got older and I kind of got into more movies with like plots like this, I've actually come to really like this movie, and it's actually one of my favorites in the series. Like, I like this movie over Halloween 5, 6, and Resurrection. It's actually one of my favorites in the series, and it's the last one that features any input or any collaboration with John Carpenter. He did some of the music on this one, and he also, I think, like produced this one with Deborah Hill still, so it still has that John Carpenter vibe that the first two movies have. So this is definitely the end of the John Carpenter trilogy, I guess you can call it, the first 3 Halloween movies. And I really think this is a good one. So for any of you Halloween fans that just won't give this one a chance, just give it a try. It's an interesting Halloween story anyways, even though it has nothing to do with the rest of the movies. I just think it's a kind of a cool story anyways. Kind of reminds me of like a Tales from the Dark Side episode or something like that. Just really cool there, Halloween 3. And next up here, we have Halloween 4. And like I said earlier in this video, this actually might be my favorite Halloween movie, even though I do think John Carpenter's Halloween is the best in the series. I think this is my personal favorite one. When I was going through the movies this year, which I'm doing right now, and I just recently got through Halloween 1, 2, 3, and 4, this was the one that I was looking forward to watching the most, and I would say this is the one that I almost had the most fun watching also. I was just having a good time while I was watching it, and I just always liked this one. Like I said, I used to rent this one a lot when I was younger, and it used to always be on TV too, so I just remember watching this one a lot when I was younger, so it has that on it too, and I just think it's kind of a fun movie anyways too. Really good stuff. Halloween 4. This is again, an older Anchor Bay release. This one's from '98, and it doesn't come with too many special features either. Just like the trailer, a few other things, I think. But a really nice release, anyway. And then I have another release of Halloween 4 from Anchor Bay, and this one has an alternative cover, which is why I picked it up. I just thought it was kind of interesting the way they went with this. With the poster is zoomed in on the mask, which is the mask from the first Halloween movie, not the Halloween 4 mask. And, I do have to admit that the mask in Halloween 4 isn't the best. Definitely not as effective looking as the one from the first Halloween movie. Just an awesome mask here, which everybody knows now is an old Star Trek William Shatner mask that was just painted white and the hair was like dyed brown or something like that. But just a really classic, iconic mask. Great stuff. And this one has a few more special features on it. It has like a documentary, so kind of why I picked this one up too, just to get a few more features to watch. And then I have this really cool release of Halloween 5. Love the cover on this. Awesome movie poster. Another Anchor Bay release here. Really good. And Halloween 5, not as good as Halloween 4, even though I like that it is a decent sequel to the fourth one. Halloween 1 and 2 go together really well, and Halloween 4 and 5 go together really well. But 5 was the first one that kind of started to bring in ideas of this like Thorn idea, and that there's something bigger than Michael Myers, and it wasn't just him being a random psychopath. There's some sort of thing behind it. And this one did a really good job of making that like very ominous, where you didn't really know what they were going with. And then 6, I think, almost kind of just ruined it for me. That's why I have to admit that I'm not the biggest fan of Halloween 6, even though I am looking forward to seeing the producer's cut. I would say that's probably one of my least favorites in the series. So without further ado, let's get to Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. And like I said, this one continues with the whole Thorn thing, that there's something like bigger behind Michael Myers, like he's part of this whole cult organization thing, and he's getting like bossed around by these guys. And I just kind of think Halloween 6 just kind of jumped the shark. I just almost think it's a little bit ridiculous, and I don't like when they add backstories to these killers that don't really need a backstory. Like Jason Goes to Hell for the Friday the 13th series, they try to give Jason all this stuff of why he doesn't die, and it's just like, it doesn't matter. We just want to see Jason like chasing some like teens around the woods, like chopping them up. Like there doesn't need to be a reason behind it. And same thing with Halloween 6. I would almost say this is in my opinion almost the Jason Goes to Hell of the Halloween series, which if you've seen any of my videos where I talk about Friday the 13th, Jason Goes to Hell I just think is the worst, and it's just a stupid movie in general. But Halloween 6 does pass just for one thing. It has Donald Pleasance as Dr. Loomis in it, and he's just such a great actor. He carries these movies. Halloween 1, 2, and 4, just they wouldn't even be close to how good movies they are without him in it. He's just such a good actor, and just so good at reading, the lines. So, I mean, half of the dialogue in this and in Halloween 5 is just stupid, but he does such a good job doing it that you don't even notice. Just one of the best classic, actors that was in some of these more modern horror movies like this. So that's Halloween 6. And next up here, of course, we got H2O, which I actually kind of like H2O. I would say one of the better films that come out later on in the series. And this came out during the Scream generation of horror movies, and you can kind of tell by the cover, very much reminds me of the Scream movie poster, and this movie kind of has that vibe too, that Scream vibe, even though it's a little different because the Scream movies have a lot to do with, a lot of other weirder stuff going on, and this one just has, Mike Myers back in it and everything, and it's cool too. What I meant is it has Jamie Lee Curtis back in it as Laurie, which I think is really cool because she hadn't been in the movie since the second one, and they had done a ton of sequels before that, and it's cool to see her back in the movie too. So this is just a really good one, of course. Definitely I think one of the better Halloween sequels in the series. And this one is probably the worst, Halloween Resurrection. I mean, of course, I've already said that I think Rob Zombie's Halloween movies are the worst. But out of the original series, Resurrection definitely is the worst. Just isn't that good of a movie. They kill Laurie off early on in just a very stupid way, in my opinion. And this is just a ridiculous movie. It's got Buster Rhymes and Tyra Banks in it. It's like, really? Come on. Like, what were you guys thinking with this one when you put this out? And it has something to do with, like, a reality show they're filming in the Myers house. Just completely stupid idea here, but I still watch this one every year. And it's basically it's a sequel to H2O. So if you're really big into H2O, I guess it's somewhat of a decent sequel to H2O. But other than that, it's just kind of one of the weakest movies in the series, in my opinion. Right, and that was it for the DVD releases. And now next up, I have just a few tapes that I'll show you guys really quickly. Alright, first up here, we have the first Halloween movie. This is an old media tape of this. The bottom has actually been cut on this, which is a little disappointing. These older media tapes have, like, just like the top closes over like that. Usually the bottom does too, but somebody cut it. But what are you going to do? I picked this one up probably at a thrift store for like 50 cents or $1 a couple of years ago. It's really nice, though. I love the artwork on this and just the overall design of the tape. These really old tapes from the 80s are probably some of my favorite looking tapes like ever. They just have a cool look to them in the early days of VHS tapes. It's a nice tape there. Then I have another copy of Halloween. This is the Blockbuster Presents edition. This is a very common edition of the movie. I almost see this in everybody's collection if they have Halloween VHSs. This one is usually in there, and this is the one that I see at in thrift stores and stores that sell VHSs the most. So I just picked this one up because it's just common. I figured why not get it out of the way. Again, probably only spent like $1 on it at a thrift store. I would say probably all the VHS tapes that I buy or show in my videos, I usually just pick up at thrift stores for like $1. It's cool. There's also a Night of the Living Dead Blockbuster Presents edition, which I really want to get to like put next to this one on my shelf. Alright, then I have a couple copies of Halloween 3 actually on VHS. This one, I like the cover design on this with the trick-or-treaters with the masks. It's pretty cool, like that. Reminds me of Halloween time. And then here we go, another copy of Halloween 3, and this is the MCA home video edition of this. And this is just a really nice, solid edition of this movie on tape. And just a really nice looking VHS tape. This is an older VHS tape from the 80s, and like I said with 80s tapes, they just look really nice. And then last for this video, and last for my Halloween collection, is Halloween 4, the CBS Fox edition. And you can also get Halloween 5 in CBS Fox edition, and the CBS Fox home video releases are some of my favorite tapes to collect. They all have this uniform gray like spine to them, so they look really nice next to each other on a shelf. So one day I would really hope to get the Halloween 5 one. And this one isn't in the best condition. I would say the bottom on this side is a little bit beat up, but other than that, it's still pretty nice looking tape. And these are definitely the best way to get the Halloween 4 and 5 on VHS tape, because a lot of the Anchor Bay releases were cheaper releases, and they didn't last quite as long. But I'm sure this one would still work if I popped it in my VHS player, because most of these CBS Fox ones do. So that is it for the Halloween collection, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope you guys have a happy Halloween this year. I might be able to get another video up before the end of this week. A little extra video for Halloween, but I'm not sure if I'll have the time or not. Been really busy lately with work, and I've also been working on a movie called Rabbit Hole, a short slasher horror film that me and my friends are making. I've talked about it before on my channel, and I posted up a 10-minute preview of it, which you guys can check that out on my channel if you want. I'll leave a link for it in the description of this video if anybody wants to check that out. And if anybody is curious about how that is going, actually we've been working really hard on it for this past month. We were trying to get it done by Halloween Day. That was the day we wanted to have it finished and released on YouTube, but there's still a lot to do. We still have to film the ending, and there's 2 twists at the ending, and there's a couple gore scenes too. That right now I'm working on a dummy so we can do a special effects scene with a lot of blood involved. So there's a lot going on right now towards the end of the movie. But we've been having a ton of fun making it, and we're actually hoping to have it released now by Friday the 13th next month. And I'm going to try to cut a trailer together too in the next couple weeks. So, you know, definitely give this video a thumbs up if you guys are looking forward for the Rabbit Hole movie at all, because we've been putting a lot of work into that. Like, not only do I act and direct and write this, but I've been editing it and working on the special effects. So this has just been a big project for me. I've been spending a lot of my spare time working on this, and like I said before, there is a 10-minute preview of the movie up, which is the first 10 minutes of the movie, and altogether the short will probably be about 25 minutes long, so that is basically half of the short already up on YouTube, but the rest will be up, again, like I said. I'm hoping to get it put out Friday the 13th next month, so hopefully you guys will check that out when it comes out, and hopefully you guys liked this video, and if you did, definitely give it a big thumbs up, or leave a comment, and I'll see you guys later.